Becoming the church. In the beginning of the church, the apostles were sent out to spread the word, the love, and grace of Jesus. They traveled far and wide, proclaiming the love of God and Jesus Christ as his Son to all that is. As instructed, no matter where they went, people who did not speak the same language could understand what they were saying. As faith grew throughout the world, God showed favor to those who believed. As we heard in Colossians, Paul was writing to new believers in Colossae, telling them of prayers being lifted up for them and praising them for their faithfulness to God. Most everyone here, young and old, has probably grown up in the church believing from the beginning. And it's difficult for us to imagine our lives without our faith in God. There are still persons today who have never heard of the sacrifice and saving grace of Jesus. We are called, just as the apostles, to be disciples and spread the good news. For many, it's hard to talk about our faith, especially to those who do not believe and have doubts. Now, this is where being a Christian can become difficult. How do we show God's grace in person? We share our faith in many different ways, not only by the words we speak, but by how we relate to people personally. Our actions can speak volumes to others. In Luke, we heard Jesus being asked how to gain eternal life. He responds, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your being, with all your strength, and with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself." We are called to love and care for our neighbors. Jesus did not say, depending on the color of their skin, their creed, their origin, their sexual orientation. He made no distinction of any kind between people. They are all children of God, and it's whether they know it or not. Proverbs 3:27 says, "Do not withhold goods from those who deserve it, when it is in your power to help them." Now, I know this sounds like you're going to give them something, but I think this applies to the fact of the Word of God. That is the goods. We should not ever withhold them when we can give them to someone. The Methodist faith was founded on believing and living up the Scriptures. Matthew 25:37-40 says, "Lord, when did we ever see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you something to drink, or a stranger and show you hospitality, or naked and give you clothing? When did we ever see you sick or in prison and visit you?" And the king will say, "I tell you the truth, when you did it to one of the least of these brothers and sisters, you were doing it to me." John Wesley cared for his brothers and sisters by attending to their needs with his time and money. He lived out Matthew 25 by caring for widows and orphans, persons who were sick, and visited those in prison. He was so dedicated to this that he spent all of his money on helping others. He lived very meagerly, spending on himself as little as possible, and paid for his burial in advance, dying with not one penny to his name. As true Methodists, we're called to do the same. Now, maybe not carrying it out quite as far as John Wesley did, but we are to be generous for others. Faith that does not result in works is not saving faith. Matthew 25 reminds us that when we care for others, we are caring for Christ. We never know when we will encounter the face of Christ or be the face of Christ to others. God is not calling us to come to church. He is calling us to be His church. We do this by opening our doors to let others in, by opening the doors and sending people out to be the hands and feet of Christ. As Christians, we are distinguished by knowing that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. God sent Jesus to earth to become human and suffer as a human. He died an anguishing death on the cross, so we could have life in us. We are loved that much. Do you take for granted being a Christian, Jesus' sacrifice, grace, and mercy, or God's love for us? God is always faithful. But are we? We are asked so little of and receive so much in return for our obedience, respect, and faithfulness. Jesus taught us how to pray to God, and when we pray, we offer petitions to Him for ourselves and for others. Prayer does not inform God about needs. He already knows them. It expresses trust in His provision. Because of our faith in Him, He wants us to bless. I have found that being a child of God is liberating and fulfilling. And I can't imagine what life would be like without it. I want everyone to know God's love and grace. I have a plaque hanging on my kitchen wall that says, "Be still and know God's promises are new every morning." As I walk down the hallway and I see that, this reminds me that no matter what is going on in my life, God is with me. I am His,